the sound of so many people clap. I can hear the COVID spreading in this room. No, we're all being safe. Welcome to the Social Distance Sessions Revival Comedy Show. We have a few real audience members here with us tonight, very spread out. I think there's 14 of you, which is really exciting. Yes! Yeah, but you're loud. Yeah, you have to make the noise of double that number to have a, we'll be good. I'm so excited to be here tonight. Tonight's local nonprofit that we're supporting is Forward Montana. Give it up for them. If you're not familiar with that organization, they do a lot of awesome voting rights stuff, especially with young people and engaging young people in politics, which we need more of because they're smarter, older people. There's a couple of ways to give, depending on how you're watching this show. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, there should be a Give Butter link down in the comments, and you can click on that. If you're watching on Cheddarboard, which is Missoula's new streaming service, and if you don't know what that is, check it out and sign up after the show. You'll see how to give in that direction. If you're here and want to give, just throw dollar bills at me. I'll pick them up, and that will be good. I think that's everything really out of the way that I want to talk about. I feel like there's one other thing, but it's not coming to me. We have some awesome comedians tonight. Eden Solis is headlining. You'll see her in about 40 minutes. And we're just going to get started. I'm going to tell some jokes before the first person comes up. Okay. There are real people here. I can do this. So I'm one of the people who got divorced during the pandemic. I know that's like a trendy thing I did. Like some people learned to bake sourdough, and I imploded my longest and most serious relationship. A lot of people think that I got divorced because we couldn't stand sheltering in place together, but that totally wasn't the case. It's just that the pandemic gave me a lot of time to fill out paperwork. I finally got that off my to-do list. Oh, that was good. Yeah, no, lots of people were like, I did a jigsaw puzzle. And I was like, I untangled 16 years of monetary entanglement. But it was satisfying. Dating during the pandemic is difficult, as you might guess. I mean, 500,000 Americans have died, and I bet a lot of them were cute. So, yeah. No, it's okay. It's okay. I think a lot of my competition died too, so it evens out. Yeah, not good. Dating on Tinder is really weird during the people list that they're vaccinated like it's like a thing I would be attracted to. Really weird, but I tried to jump on the boat. I just listed all of the vaccines I've had. It took up my whole profile, but I'm like, whooping cough, measles, rubella, you're not gonna get anything from me. Most HPV strains. Yeah. And I'm a team player. My friend told me I should try get off of Tinder, and try dating websites. And I was like, I didn't know you could date websites, but I'm done with humans. That's terrible. That's my first groan I've gotten in a whole year. Thank you. That means a lot to me. What other stuff is happening? So we're... now that everybody's getting vaccinated, people are freaking out about vaccine passports. Like, they think it's such a huge deal and are just going off about it. And I just don't think that it's a big deal. I'm like, what's gonna happen? Is like some big burly guy gonna stop me before I go into the bar and ask for a government ID? and then stamp me when I give it to them. Oh my God, that's so sci-fi, right? But my friends are like, it's different. This is about our private health information. And I'm like, okay, that's actually a really good point. No, we should think about that. Nervous laughter, haven't heard that in a while. What else? But the pandemic's coming to an end. I feel like nature is healing. The world is healing. The mass shootings have started up again, which I think is a really good sign, right? Yeah. People are gathering again, and we're plowing them down. We're getting back to, this is what we sheltered in place for a year for, is to get back to normal, right? I just want to go, can you imagine sheltering in place for a year and then getting murdered in a mass shooting in March 2021? I'd be so pissed, right? It's horrible. If I was gonna do one, and I'm not gonna do one, I would do a mass shooting at a target range. I think this is a cool idea. If I were gonna do it, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Because nobody would be expecting it. You could walk in armed to the teeth and everyone would be like, cool, she's gonna have a good time. Don't stop you at the door, right? And then you could just start shooting people and no one would even turn around at the sound of gunshots, right? You could just, but the thing is, you could prove a point. Like the gun nuts are like, oh, the only thing that can stop a person with a gun is another person with a gun. No, not at the target range. No, someone would shout like, he's got a gun! And everyone would be like, that's very normal here. Yeah, like my kindergartner does like active shooter drills twice a year, but they don't do that at the target range. They would have no idea how to react. Yeah, active shooter. What's a passive shooter? I don't know. Okay, so now that I've done my mass shooting jokes, it's time to hear from the first comedian of the night. He is performing, there's a couple of different shows coming up in Missoula, which is really fun and exciting. April 28th, there's a show in the Roxy Garden outside in the back. It's really cool. Yeah, and there's only a few tickets. I think there's 35 tickets if you want to go onto the Roxy website and get those. There's also a show at Stave and Hoop on April 13th. And I haven't been to one yet, but I hear they're rad, and I'm going to go to this one now that I have my 2 shots. So without further ado, please welcome Nathan St. Onge.
Hi. I told my therapist I have sensitive skin. She asked how that makes me feel. I said, itchy. Listen, I was told only at the last moment that this is a feminist comedy show. I didn't really bring anything for that. It's my first Snicker in a year. Thank you. That's good. I don't know. I've been noticing a lot of misogyny in pop music lately. A couple of songs come to mind, like that old tune where the dude singer says, if I just lay here, would you lie with me and just forget the world? What the fuck? What do you mean if you just lay here? Why do you emphasize that? Are you saying that against your coercive nature, you will attempt and probably fail to just lie there without what? Touching me? Gross. Besides, wouldn't you be better suited to forget the world alone? You pervert. How did you even get in here? Or a newer song where a younger dude singer says, Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier. What? Me? Oh, well, how lucky am I because we've been dating only a short time, like honeymoon phase, and you've known from the outset that I'm clinically depressed. But lately, just recently, like what are we talking, over the weekend, you've been thinking as if to have had a stroke of genius that you want me to be happier. Pervert. How did you even get in here? Pop singers just showing up in my bedroom. It's really creepy. I just graduated from high school. Thank you. I just graduated from high school 26 years late. And I am proud of that, but it's not very impressive, I know, because after I passed my last exam, I Googled, what can people learn after high school? And it's a lot. It's a lot. For instance, I scored pretty high in English, but as it turns out, I'm still completely illiterate in exactly 6,499 languages. Fuck me, right? And I just don't feel very smart. I still don't know how computers or cameras work. Those things are magic to me. Nathan, I hear you're a good writer. Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm a good writer. If you only want to read one language. And never about how computers or cameras work. See where that gets you. Oh, I want to talk a bit about white privilege, especially where it intersects with wealth privilege. I have one of those things and not the other, so naturally I find ample joy in rabble-rousing those who have both. You know? Anyway, my rich white cousin, white from birth and rich from marriage, posted a photo of the brand new, shiny white, fully loaded, purely violent status symbol of a luxury SUV that she received from her husband for her birthday. And all I did, in the most lighthearted humor, was point out, in all caps, just how glaringly white it is indeed. Sure enough, one clap, thank you. Needless to say, she lost her shit. She chewed my ass in a private message for ruining her birthday and forcing her to remove the post out of embarrassment. Ding! Oh, so bad. And you know what? After that, even after agreeing that all I had done was simply exploit her position for a laugh, she goes, "Save it for the stage, not my page." At least she knows what I do. You know, I want to be clear and say that I genuinely love my cousin, I really do. She's never been anything but kind to me. She's just lost. I mean, I don't mean she's actually lost. It's a big house. It's a really big house, which probably makes her irritable. I'm sure, you know, she's capable of freeing her own mind. She's just stuck, you know. I mean, I don't mean she's actually stuck. She just can't swim or figure out the controls to her new drawbridge. Bitch. Fuck, I hope she's not watching. I'm aware of my privilege. I am. I acknowledge that I have blonde hair and blue eyes and this kind of underwear. I'm working on it. In fact, I've developed a nice soothing voice inside my head to talk me down when I'm being really stupid. Oh, life's hard and I have nothing and that's not fair. Nathan, what are you physically doing right now? Making a pour over. Oh, What is a pour-over? It's a cup of coffee. Just a cup of coffee? Yeah, no, well, you first grind fairly traded single origin beans and then pour hot water at a precise temperature through the fresh grounds in a specific period of time. That sounds delicious. It is. I'm working on it. I've been in a lot of trouble on Facebook lately. My mom posted a picture of a hummingbird drinking from a waterfall, and the caption said, "Follow your dreams." So I commented, "Bad advice for pedophiles." Thank you. Mom's viewers were not as grateful. I wish my mom was non-monogamous. You know what I mean? It would just be really nice. If she could date someone, you know, just like anyone other than my stepdad, she deserves it. I thought I had my social media use under control until I hit rock bottom. Rock bottom for me was scrolling Venmo to see who paid who for what. I don't think some people are being honest. The emoji gives it away. Like when the comment is lunch and the emoji is a burrito, that's pretty airtight. But when the comment is hospital bills and the emoji is a lit cigarette, that's a drug deal. A lit cigarette. The smoking age went up. The smoking age went up from 18 to 21. I think that's pretty lame. There shouldn't even be a smoking age. Smoking rights should only be granted to people who look really cool doing it. Which, of course, with no age limit, you might be pretty disturbed the first time you see a baby smoking. But within seconds, you would be mesmerized. That baby looks so cool. Smoking. Hey, I'm no food critic, but I'm pretty sure I've discovered the most amazing sausage. I'll send you a link. Someone on the bus asked me to describe my life in a nutshell. I told them, there's not much to explain, I live in a nutshell. Pistachio, I think. Sturdy. On my way to the venue tonight, I saw two people carrying a refrigerator. I thought, wow, if I had a dolly for every time I saw that, I could help. Someone on the bus asked me if I read the Bible. I said no, but I love the source material. We've got one more minute, folks. Just buckle up. Buckle up for safety. I told my therapist that I lost my insurance. She asked how that makes me feel. I said, cured. I'm Nathan St. Ange. Thanks for having me. I'd like to bring up the next comedian. In fact, I would love to bring up the next comedian, a dear friend of mine who, although due on the stage as I speak, is still sitting down. Ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary friends, the great Cody Trogdon.
the great. I don't know if I can live up to that. I want to stand in these blue lights. Blue lights. I like blue. I also like blue drinks. If that ever comes up, like I'd drink Windex if they would let me. Got kicked out of work for that. Sorry. 3 strikes, you're out, they say. I'm 2 down. Just next, ammonia. I'm in there. Sorry, I had to go to a 2-year-old's birthday party at 4 o'clock, so I've been pre-gaming since about 10 a.m., okay? Are we there? All right, we're there. Get out my set list. I put it in my wallet so I wouldn't lose it. It's really early to look at this, Cody. That's shitty. Yeah, Kyle bought the 2-year-old scratch tickets. We should have pre-gamed together. We could have got that kid some shit. Like, oh, look at this truck. That kid looks cool, all right? We'll just throw that out there. Hey, round of applause for your sound guy, Mr. Chris Bauman. Longtime friend. Hey, how's everybody doing, all things considered? Right? Can we just drop the all things considered and assume that's part of how's it going now? I don't need to clarify. We don't need to do that. And also, when someone asks you, how's it going, can we also just agree that that's not a real question? They don't really give a shit. Like, it's like, oh, how's it going? Ooh. Well, you know, my grandma died of the COVID. While I was out visiting her, I lost my job. And then my wife left me, and while I'm driving home, I hit my dog. And because I lost my job, I can't afford the vet bills. So, now I'm working at the gas station. And I'm like, wow, that's awful. Can I just get $10 on pump number 5? Real quick? No? Okay. It's a problem I have. I've got this thing. I'm sure you guys have heard of the opposite thing, resting bitch face or resting asshole face. I can understand that because I have the opposite thing, resting nice guy face, where I just have this look on my face all the time. I blame my parents because they were always like, Cody, greet everyone with a smile. That's bad advice, because then people think they can ask you questions or tell you things. I was riding the Greyhound once. Anybody, Greyhound? Yeah, that's a good way to travel if you feel like you were getting robbed, right? It's sketchy. I fall asleep on the Greyhound, and I wake up with the perfect storm of boners, because I gotta pee, and I was sleeping, and then the bus is vibrating, so there's no way this thing's going down. I wake up and this woman's staring over the seat at me, watching me, waiting for me to wake up. Can I help you? What's in them fields? I don't know, alfalfa, maybe? What's that? It's the stuff they feed cows. Cows? They eat all that? They're large animals. There's a lot of them. They're out of control. We need to do something about it. What about the J's Mart? Anybody go to the J's Mart? Yeah. Not the one on 39th? Yeah. That's the one. That's another place, if I feel like I want to go to the gas station and get robbed, I'm going to go to the J's Mart. I walk in there, the clerk's like, hey, did you see those cops over at the Fresh Market? Oh, yeah, that's crazy. I wonder what's going on. I hope they don't come over here, because I got warrants. Whoa. Oh, yeah, I hope they don't come over here either. That'd be awful. Yeah, I don't want to go to jail in Missoula, because the chicken nuggets are soggy. If you're concerned with going to jail is the consistency of the chicken nuggets, you got other problems. I want to go to jail. On Thursday, they got ribs. man. Yeah, I gotta look again. Fuck, sorry. So, everybody, how you been doing? Anybody else suffering from that pandemic loneliness? Right? Yeah, because of the pandemic, I've now been alone 4 years. It's weird how that happened. No, you know, and I'm like, what am I like? Missing that thing where you're like huddled together in a closet making a suicide pact? No. Oh, is it that sex thing then? You know, not like the normal sex that you get in a regular relationship, but like you're in lockdown pandemic shit where like you're just taking turns watching each other take a poop from underneath a glass coffee table. Romance. No, I'm lonely because I realized how long I could be dead before anybody found my body. That's disturbing. I'm an organ donor. They need to get in on these. This shit's not going to waste. I got prime organs. There's a select few. All right, you're right. No, they don't, but there's no standard. I just spit all over the fucking place. Sorry, everyone. I'm sorry. No, if there's no standard, you just fucking check a box and they're like, boom, that guy's organs are up. It's not like Goodwill. Like, they'll turn shit away at Goodwill. Not organs. Dude, what are you, the organ police? Are you gonna stop buying my organs? What are you, like the Antiques Roadshow of organs? It's a vintage 1982 liver. Got about 17 years aged. Oh, that's like some human foie gras up there. But it's with Crown Royal and not wine, because I'm fucking classy like that. Canadian whiskey without the E. It's a distinction. Oh, man. So I tried that online dating, right? The Tinder. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Sarah. See, because I've been trying to pick up women because I'm like, hey, girl, you want some of this gorilla dick? I'm sorry if that was a gorilla penis. Which sounds really impressive at first, until you realize that the average gorilla penis is 1.5 inches in length. It's very disproportionate. You don't think that. But then you think, like, what if you were watching a documentary? It'd be, like, pretty obvious. Because you don't remember, like, a gorilla, like, running around with a big, like, forearm-sized cock. Eating a banana. You'd remember. You'd remember. Strange animal facts. Let's talk about them. I like animals. Anybody else? You guys like koalas? They're cute, right? Do you know what a koala's first meal is? It is gross. Drugs? It is kind of drugs. That's because, right, a koala's first meal is a substance called pap. And basically what happens is the baby koala is born, and then the mother koala goes and takes a fucking shit in its mouth, and then it gives it all the stomach bacteria that it needs so it can digest eucalyptus leaves. I think that's a good fucking strategy. That's way better than what humans do. What happens when a human baby's born? Boom, boob in the mouth. Koala's got it right. Because I've spent way more of my life getting shit in the mouth than I have sucking on a boob. Breaking rules. This is what I do, I'm sorry. Elephants, anybody? You like elephants? I like elephants too. Interesting fact, the Asian elephant is endangered, but the African elephant is not. Sarah, is that the light? Okay, good. I'm gonna let you guys know about elephants, and then we'll be done for the evening. It's a service I provide. Elephants, right? So, African elephants are not endangered. So they do this thing where they fly around a helicopter and then they tranquilize them and then shoot them with sterilizer. But so then they have to test the elephants to make sure that the sterilizer's working. So then a two-person team is in charge of ejaculating the elephant. Because there's one guy, he's the catcher. And there's the other guy that he's got to hold it down. Because the thing you don't know is that the elephant penis is articulated like a human arm. So it like flails around like that. And that's because the elephant vagina, which was originally in the back, evolved to be on the bottom so that when baby elephants were born, they don't fall and break their neck. But so what that means is that the elephant penis has to go down, up, and in to get in there. That's millions of years of evolution. They could have just come up with a reverse cowgirl. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Cody Trogdon. You have a pleasant evening. Let's give a round of applause for your next performer, Megan Megsy J. Rod Rodriguez.
I'm a woman of many names. They don't call me bitch anymore, so that's nice. Well, not to my face. So I took some mushrooms before I got up here. But they weren't the psychedelic kind, you guys. This is in Oregon. We're in Montana. I took the mushrooms, though, because they improve your immune system, and I am actually a grandmother. So, grandma's got to take care of themselves during this global pandemic. I became a grandma 2 years ago, and 7 years ago, I became a mom. And I know what you guys are thinking. You didn't come here for math. So it wouldn't make sense anyways. I got my kids secondhand, It's the best way to get things. Cars, dogs, husbands, kids, all the same. Because, the thing is, when you buy new stuff, it's all perfect, and then you're, terrified. You're like, dude, I'm going to jack this thing up, So, you're afraid to even interact with it. But, when I got here, the kids were already, busted. You know what I mean? Because we're all busted. It's nothing having, we're all jacked up, let's be honest. And so that just, took a lot of the pressure off. I was like, oh, shit. It's fine, it's already scuffed, But, at this point, I've been around long enough that some of the things are my fault, For example, the other day, one of our girls said to me, oh, I took a page out of your book. And I was like, ugh, my book? It's not a good book. If you're taking a page out of it, it should be to start a fire. You shouldn't be, emulating me. It's not good. And so she said that, yeah, I've been breaking my boyfriend's food. And I was like, what? What are you smashing his power bars while he's at the gym? And she's like, no. When I give him a fortune cookie, I just slap it and crash it, He still eats it, but it's just a thing we do in our house. It's how we say I love you. Yeah, you'll see. Come on over. We'll smash your food for you, honey. Yeah, I grew up in a house like that where they just said terrible things to you, and that's how you knew that they loved you. When I was leaving the house, my brother would say things like, you look like a fat slut. And I knew that meant, be careful out there in that outfit. Men can be lecherous. So, yeah, what else? I'm looking at notes too, because guess what? So I am what they call a procrastinator. Have you guys heard of that? It's this elusive creature that waits until the last minute. I think about the jokes. I think about them. Like this morning. So I was cleaning this morning because that's what I do when I'm nervous. And I'm nervous, believe me. I may seem composed. I don't know. Maybe you don't think that. But I was all nervous. I'm singing to my toilet, I'm just scrubbing things and just singing songs and just thinking about what I'm going to say to you guys today. And unfortunately, I'm going to bum you out real quick, but then I'll bring you back because I'm going to tell a really inappropriate joke, which I know is allowed because I saw what you guys said. So recently, the pandemic, it's been intense, to say the least, for everybody, as you said, everyone's prefacing it with like, all things considered. People have felt like, isolated and alone and sad and scared. And on Halloween, we lost our son to suicide. And so I just wanted to remind you guys, I'm not going to cry the whole time. I'm in control of this. But I just want to remind people that you're loved, and whether you believe it or not, you are loved, and people do care about you. And if you have one action left that you're going to do in your life, please make it be a call for help. And there's a suicide hotline, and it's 1-800-273-8255. And so please call that number if that's the last thing you can do. And I'm going to bring you back with a dog penis joke. My dog Baxter is a beautiful creature. He is a boxer, a pit bull, and a Rhodesian Ridgeback. So he's stunning. Several plumbers have talked about his sexy body, so I know he's hot. We don't allow uggos in our family anyways. Ugh. But, we're very vain. But yeah, Baxter, he sits, with his arms crossed like this. He really needs like a monocle and top hat, And I'm just like, damn, bro, you sit fancy for a dude who licks his own penis. I bleeped the swear words if you're wondering what that quietness was there. So let's see. So anyways, I am grieving, obviously, now, and my family is, and all of us are grieving, and it's something I think people don't really give space for, and, you got to, man, and, you got to, make jokes and do whatever it is that, to make you feel better. And so I like to tease my children. That's how I feel better. And so, one of my daughters was all kind of sad about the pandemic, and I'm like, well, it's really your fault. And she's like, how is this my fault? And I'm like, well, remember when you wish you never had to see those bitches from school ever again? That, haven't you seen Aladdin or Big or 13 Going on 30 or any Wish movie? You got to be more specific. You got to be like, I hope those bitches from school play a game of Jumanji and are never seen again. They get trapped in a jungle and Robin Williams is there. I don't know, man. You just got to, break it down. So, anyways, yeah. And so one good thing about this pandemic, if we're going to give it anything, any thumbs up, it's that if you do get cold sores, now's the time. No one's going to know. How are they going to know? You'll have a mask on, that's your business. It's really the greatest time. I told my brother that. I was like, it's the best time to get a cold sore. And he's like, I disagree. I'm like, if you're going to get a cold sore, now's the time. No, don't, go out and grab one, because you'll probably get the Rona, too. That's bad. Let's see. What else? I'm looking. I'm learning. Is this funny? What is really fun, though, is throwing shit. But I'm not going to throw this yet because I don't know that I've said all the funny things on it. Yeah. That's another thing I like to do to bother my children is that when they say dumb things, I'm always like, well, good thing you're pretty. And one time a friend of theirs was like, well, why? And she's all, because we're dumb. They're fine with it. I've been teasing them long enough. See, now they're callous. I broke them. The other thing I like to do is when they argue with me, because teenagers love to argue. At this point, one of them's 20, but they love to argue with you. And so whenever they try to argue with me, I'm like, bro, you literally don't even have a frontal lobe. Your brain is not fully developed. So any argument that you think you're going to have with me that's going to be so excellent, I'll tell you what the frontal lobe does. Listen, it's your capacity to plan, organize. I actually don't have those things, so maybe my lobe didn't, maybe it's not there. But yeah, initiate, self-monitor. Yeah, actually, whoa, this is kind of sounding a little too close to home. Maybe I need to get rid of that argument. But yeah, anyways, I say that to my kids, and they love it. Let's see. Oh, they think too, God, they're they think they're so smart, frontal lobeless and everything. And they're just they think there's no rules in the apocalypse. That's what they're calling this right now. No rules in the apocalypse. And so the other day, they let the dog on the couch, which I love my dog, but I don't want to sit in his semen. Sorry. Not to be gross, but I don't know if you have a male dog. It's disgusting. So we don't let him on the couch. And my daughter let him on the couch, and I was super pissed. And she's like, why does it, like, I'm like, he scratched it, dude. And she's like, why do you care? You're going to sell it anyways. I'm like, clearly your frontal lobe is not developed because you cannot sell a couch with dog scratches on it and dog semen, okay? Yeah, see? Throwing things is fun. I don't know what kind of animal I thought I was, but it turns out that I'm a cat. Because, I don't know, I'm a crabby little thing, and I like to slap shit on the ground. And I like seafood and going on a walk. I guess cats, I mean, they walk around the house. La, la, la. Oh, yeah. So, I've been going to a therapist for a while. I don't know if you can tell. That's where comedy comes from. Like, if you're not sad, you're not funny. Sorry, bro. Not funny. And so, yeah, I've been going to a therapist for a long time. Well, like off and on or whatever. Not the same person. I can't commit, except to my husband. And so anyways, I was going to this therapist, and she's like, well, it seems like you're really, grasping mentally what your problem is. So what do you need from me? And I'm like, Dorothy, I thought I paid you to listen to me. Like, I thought you were supposed to hear me complain. Frickin' Dorothy. That's really her name, and she's not an old lady. I'm sure you're picturing her as like a little grandma, but she isn't. Her hair's brown, naturally. Yeah, what else? Yeah, sometimes the kids try to start stuff with me, and I'm like, well, don't take your trauma out on me, bro. Only some of that shit's my fault. What else? Oh, nope. Yeah, so I feel like I have something else funny to say to you guys. Just one more funny thing, not that many more. Just one. It's in here somewhere. I know it's true. Wait around. Oh, so I told you. So my husband and I have the same, the handwriting is actually what reminded me. My husband and I have the same handwriting, which is actually super creepy. People don't normally have the same handwriting. It's weird, right? And so he and I do, and sometimes I'll find something on the table, like some writing, and I'm like, I do not remember writing this. And it like freaks me out. I'm just like, dude, do I have freaking like, what's that thing where you can't remember things? That. I feel like I have that. And I'm just like, oh my God, dude, I do not remember writing this. And then I wonder, like, is it the mushrooms or the grief? Or did my frontal lobe never develop? Who can say? All right, guys, that's enough of that. Thanks for having me. Thanks for watching me cry and listening about suicide. And up next, we got a person named Mars. Not a planet. Don't be fooled. It's a human.
Hola. Como estas? Muy bien. My favorite language. My name is Mars Emilio Maximiliano Sandoval. I'm not an alien, Martian nor Mexican. Took you a second. I'm actually Native American. I'm 1/16 ambiguous. As a matter of fact, my great-grandmother was an unspecified princess. I come from a family of artists, so I can paint, draw, etc. In other words, I was born with artism. I consider myself a pretty great grandchild. But I'm wondering how many greats it's going to take to become the ultimate grandchild. My dad's sister competed in an extreme ladder climbing competition, really upping the ante. Gracias. Hereditary diarrhea runs in the family. I'm a past tense psychic. I can see into the future only after it happened. I called that. I think the male voice is continually being pushed out of today's society, and I'm fine with that. That means we won't have to choose where to eat anymore. People say I'm weird, but I tell them, I don't know why they say that. I was in a gang called OCD. We specialize in organized crime. We once robbed the same bank 5 times in one day. I went to a sandwich rehabilitation facility. I finally had a proper Joe. You'll get it later. Conspiracies about bass guitars have no basists in reality. There's some jokes you can't tell. You can't make jokes about Braille or rubber bands because one's a touchy subject and the other's a stretch. Can't make jokes about lower class to low income cannibalism because that's in poor taste. I went to Ass Kickers Anonymous, AKA. Thank you. I performed at a gym. That was a tough crowd. I was talking to my mom. She said, if you're ever gonna go on a date, don't ask your dad for money. I said, well, you have nothing to worry about. I wouldn't ask Dad on a date anyway. I'm single. I think it's just because I'm hard to love. I was stood up as a toddler. Elementary school, everyone got Valentine's Day cards. I got a get well soon card. I went outside, the birds stopped chirping, they even shushed each other. Siri said we had no connection. I went to a marathon to raise awareness for restless leg syndrome. I think it's still going on. I met a psychic Christian. He's a psalm reader. Thank you. I think if AOC became a vegan, she'd always have a green new meal. Not very many political people in here. I met a comedian with a fetish for long, awkward pauses. He'd love this. I don't trust gardeners. I always think they're plotting something. It's a habit of mine. People say I question things too much. Who are these people and why would I say that? I think rap battles are very theatrical. And rap battles are like, I'll pop your cap like a damn soda can. No, that rhymes. But I can't imagine poetry being like that. Can you imagine poetry being like that? I picked the damn rose from that mellow meadow I frolicked in. Crowd goes, oh, he frolicked in a meadow. Thank you very much. My name is Mar Sandoval. I'd like to introduce this next comic in the form of a movie trailer. One comedian. Lots of jokes. Many funnies. Stephanie Voisin.
Pretty sure that's the best introduction I've ever had. Wow, these lights are bright. I haven't done this since September, and it feels really good to have a captive audience again. We've made it to April. Last year or so, I'm assuming, sucked for most of us, not just me, except for doomsday preppers and rapture people. I think it was their time to shine. I know that because they were totally prepared and they told me all about it. They would be like, I'm ready for the end of the world. I've got 50 gallons of rice in my basement. And I'd be like, I just bought some ramen from Costco, so I think I'm good too. Or the rapture people, I'd be like, hi, my name's Stephanie. And they would ask, are you ready to be raptured? I'm like, what does that mean? Has your soul been saved? I would just let them know my soul is way too far gone, probably. And being raptured doesn't sound that cool to me. I've also seen some pictures, and I'm scared of heights. I don't want to be sucked into the sky all that bad. So I'm good. There was one thing I need to get off my chest, like kind of a confession thing, not to save my soul, just it wasn't Megan's daughter that caused the pandemic, it was me. All right, here goes. On January 1st, 2020, I went to hang a mirror up, and I broke it. The next week, Australia was on fire. Do y'all remember that happening? And then there was a pandemic, so I'm sorry. We only have 6 more years to go, and everything should be fine. I did try to make up for it, because I went to hang a mirror this year, and I made my partner do it. When he looked at me, I said, if you break it, it's your fault. I'm not going to be responsible for this again. It didn't get broken, so we're good. Last year, I learned a lot. It was a big learning experience. I learned that doing crisis work from home with 2 teenagers is terrible. I spent a fortune on office supplies at the liquor store. I kind of kept them in business. I also had to learn how to get comfortable living with a man. We had moved in together not long before the pandemic, and then he lost his job, so we were together every waking moment. And I had to figure out how to poop in my house when there was a man living there. It might not sound like a big deal, but this is coming from somebody who used to say she had to go get a drink from the gas station just so I could take a shit. Because I was more comfortable pooping around strangers than somebody I could potentially sleep with later. Now I'm super comfortable. My kids have moved out, and I go with the door open half the time. Farting, that's like nothing. I fart on him all the time. I know, he's a really lucky man. I've also had to get comfortable with the fact that his favorite thing to play with in the whole world is his penis. It's constant. I bought a TV, and I figured out that I could cast stuff from my phone on there. I was like, this is so cool. Well, I thought it was cool until I was in my living room trying to peacefully read a book. All of a sudden, the TV comes on, and there's his penis. I unfortunately made the mistake of saying, hey, honey, it looks way bigger on the TV. Just so you know, that does not discourage the behavior. And I apologize to everybody viewing whose partners are taking notes. I feel like there may be a lot of penises on a lot of TVs after this show. He had to get comfortable with some things too. Like, I would like to talk to him about my menstrual cycle, because there was nobody else there. And he would cringe, and I would just say, hey, dude, if it weren't for your parents, you would have been a period, so get over it. That also backfired on me, because the other day he said, "Are you having any menstrual symptoms?" And I was like, "What?" He said, "I put a period tracker on my phone so I could keep track." I paused and I said, "Put in, I'm irritable. I'm irritated right now. Please go back to cringing." One thing I do like that we do together is snuggling on the couch and watching romantic comedies. He will grab my hand and say, "Stephanie, do you want to not get married?" And I will let the breath out that I was holding because I'm so scared he's really going to ask me one of these times. And one thing I learned about him is he chews really loud. I can't sit next to him when he's eating crunchy food. So if he asks me one time, I'm going to have to say, "No, you chew way too loud. I can't marry you. It'll never work out." Yeah, so I learned a lot last year. Did you all know they make hair masks? Yeah, lots of people knew that. Of course you do, Megan. You do hair. I didn't know that. So I grabbed this tube that said mask on it and proceeded to slather it all over my face. It was really weird that it wouldn't dry. I would touch it every couple minutes. And I'm not going to talk about how much time passed before I looked at the directions because that's not the important thing here. But eventually I read the directions and it said, "Apply to hair after shampooing." It's like, oh, well, my skin will probably be really soft now. But now I know. I also learned how to not take an oatmeal bath. So you do not add instant oatmeal to a bathtub full of hot water because it kind of cooks oatmeal. Or I could be a genius because it could be a major time saver. Bath and a snack. I'm going to start a beauty blog on what not to do. What else is going on in my life? I turned 42 this year. I know I don't look a day over 25. I'm just going to keep telling myself that. What I keep getting every year older I get, like this year, my body makes noises like bubble wrap when you're popping it every time I move. And my pelvic floor continues just to get way worse. To the point where I have to Kegel around a pair of vaginal weights. I hear they're going to strengthen it, but right now I keep losing them because they keep rolling out. So it's getting expensive. I hope they start working soon. I'm also tired constantly. I'm more tired than I've ever been. Just the thought of doing things makes me tired. The other day, my partner asked me to come in the bathroom. When I said why, he said, "I need you to shave my back." I briefly thought about dating other people again. It's like, I can do this. I did the online dating thing before. I did all right on Farmers Only, under Will Hull for Seed. Then there was Christian Mingle, under like a virgin, but not exactly. Like I said, there's a lot of people that want to save my soul out there. But actually, it's really tiring. So I just said, "Hand me the razor. Let's just get it done." His back's really smooth. If anybody wants to touch it, he's over there. I did a good job. I also think I might be having a bit of a midlife crisis because I'm thinking about big changes. Like I want to move and start a new job. I did it when I was younger. Like I tried all sorts of new things. There was one time when I tried to be a musician. I approached somebody to give me drum lessons. I didn't learn how to play the drums. I did, however, get chlamydia and 2 children from that. Just so y'all know, I got rid of the chlamydia. It's been gone for about 20 years now. I hung on to my 2 fuck trophies, though. I kind of like them. So... yeah, they're cool. They've moved out, though, so we're good. Yeah, that's all I've got. Like I said, it's been a while. I kind of flew through that. I am going to go ahead and introduce your next comedian. He has been doing comedy for 5 years. Give it up all for James Johnson.
Thank you, Stephanie. Keep it going for Stephanie. Yeah, this is my 5-year comedy anniversary. And do you want to hear the first joke I ever did? This is true. This is true. Before I came here tonight, I was playing Magic the Gathering with 5 other dudes in a FEMA trailer. And if that doesn't tell you how terrified I am of dating, nothing will. Some of you may not know what Magic is. Magic is a fantasy trading card game where players use decks of spells to defeat their opponent. So a turn goes kind of like this. I will lay down my mountain, tap my lands for red mana, summon a raging goblin enchanted with fire breathing, and attack you. And I will block your goblin with my aisling leprechaun, who bears the enchanted shillelagh of Evermore. And basically this goes back and forth until a king of the nerds is crowned. Pre-pandemic, I used to like to go to Muse Comics and play Magic on Friday night. What is the difference between a woman at Friday Night Magic and a unicorn? The guys at Friday Night Magic are not afraid of unicorns. I used to hate dogs. I know that's not a popular opinion here in Missoula. That's why whenever I would hear somebody talking bad about dogs, I would just find myself nodding along like an oath keeper watching Alex Jones. And but now I own dogs. My fiance moved in, and she has 2 little Italian greyhounds. They're about 20 pounds. They're so sweet, and I still hate dogs. I hate all dogs except for my little Lunabelle and my Stella Bug. Yep. Or as I call them, Mischief and Misbehave. And these dogs, they're crazy. They just like run around in circles really fast and just like dive right into their little clamshell bed. Then they rise out like Venus de Alpo. Yeah, but they love to lick too. Like they'll come running at me to lick my face, and it'll be like that classic Ray Bradbury novel. Something licking this way comes. The other day I came home from work, and they had gotten into the cupboard, and eaten half a bag of Oreos. I said, "Why did you do that?" They said, "We learned it from you, Dad. We learned it by watching you." I don't know if you know this, there's an ammo shortage. There's an ammo shortage. There's no ammo to buy. I found this out, and I thought to myself, I think I've got some ammo. So I looked in my closet, and it turns out I've got a lot of ammo. So I did something that I haven't done for a long time. I went down to the shooting range, and don't worry, I didn't see Sarah there at first because of the camouflage. But no, I thought the place was closed. It was silent. There was no guns going off. But I got out and went out, and yeah, there was people there. All the riflemen, I guess you call them. That's what I'll call them. It's not inclusive, but it's accurate. But all the riflemen were there just looking despondent. They had taken down all the targets. It was sad. So I put my gun case on the shooting bench, walked down, hung out my target. They were looking at me like, "What's this guy doing?" Oh, in this story, you have to imagine I'm wearing sunglasses. I look really cool. I've got sunglasses on in this story. So I take out my ear protection, put it on, take out my rifle, put in the magazine, aim down at the target, pull the trigger. It's way off center. But the riflemen can't believe it. They're like, "Whoa, what's happening here?" So I fire another round. That's a little closer, and they're like a little bit hopeful. They're like, "He's got ammo. He's got ammo." And I fire one more time, dead center bullseye. The riflemen cheer. They come running over to me, and with their wallets out. I said, "This ammo is not for sale. It's for sharing." So I passed out ammo to everyone there except for Sarah. After what she said, I don't think it's safe for her to have any. But yeah, we spent the whole day shooting guns. It was great. It was so much fun. I went to the Grizz game today. There was limited attendance. It was really cool. The Grizz won, but limited attendance. They were had air guitar cam, and they showed my section. I could see us and a couple other people, and so I stood up and started rocking out on my air guitar, and then I realized this is probably the only scenario where it's embarrassing not to get up and rock out on an air guitar. I'm trying to decide on my stripper name, if I ever need one. I'm trying to decide between One Chance Fancy and Greasy Penny. I don't know which one I like more. What's been in the news? Ted Cruz. Did you see the video of Ted Cruz last week where he like went to the border and was like standing out in a marsh with a flak jacket, like a border patrol cosplay. He looked like some kind of a deleted scene from Duck Dynasty. Rush Limbaugh died. Yep, yeah. But say what you will about Rush Limbaugh. Rush Limbaugh was the Babe Ruth of talk radio. He played in an all-white league. There's a rover on Mars. It's up there searching for fossil life, ancient fossil life. That would freak me out. I am not prepared for the thought that there might have been life on Mars. I need it all to be here about me, It needs to be, Earth can be the only place where there's life, because this is where I am. It's like my favorite Christmas carol, "Oh, Come Let Us Adore James." Yeah. Still, a year into the pandemic, some people aren't wearing masks, which that's completely unacceptable. There are masks laying on the ground everywhere. There is no excuse for not having a mask. And the same is true for toothbrushes. Does anyone else have trouble with toast? I have trouble with toast. I can't understand the settings. It's either like I get like warm bread or burnt charcoal slice. I got my COVID shot. Michelle and I went and got our COVID shots the same day. She made the appointment, and there was like a week later we had to wait. And she said, "I made the appointment for this day, but I'm going to keep checking to see if there is anything else opens up." And I said, "Oh, it's only a week to wait." And she said, "You don't know how badly I want to get out of this house." That's. But we did go out the other night. We went to like our friends. They had like a barbecue, and we stayed there for a while. And it was like got to be a little late, so we started going home. And but what time is it? She asked. "Oh, it's 9:30, getting late." You know what they say? Nothing good ever happens after 9:30. I wonder if there is an alternate universe where Ted Nugent died young and is considered the greatest guitar player of all time, and Jimi Hendrix is a bitter old conspiracy theorist that everybody hates. What does Rob Zombie use to make chili? More cumin than cumin. Yeah, I love classic rock. I love rock and roll. It's like, I think that Amazon should use the song "You've Got Another Thing Coming" by Judas Priest in their advertisements. Yeah, there's some bands I don't understand, like Hatebreed and like Korn. I mean, I just don't get them anymore. Like back when they were kids, it made sense, but now they're like, "I'm 40 years old and I'm still angry. I'm a millionaire, but I have trouble letting shit go." But I love classic rock, even if like the lyrics don't make sense. Like Thin Lizzy, like, "Tonight there's going to be a jailbreak somewhere in the town, but probably at the jail." But I used to love going to rock shows and concerts, like pre-COVID. The last one that I went to here in Missoula was at the Top Hat. It was Eve 6. And Eve 6 is what Bozeman would be if Bozeman was a band. But yeah, I realized why I don't like going to rock shows at the Top Hat. It's for the same reason that I don't like the New York Yankees. They all look like cops. It's like, yeah, I'm used to going to a rock show. There's 200 people doing drugs and one narc. And at the Top Hat, it's like 200 people drinking IPAs and me. But it was like a really wild show. Like the crowd was getting into it, and it was getting pushed back and forth. And I got pushed backward into this guy, and I felt like he was a brick wall. He was completely solid. It's like I turned around to look at him, and he had his arms crossed, and they were right here on me. I thought to myself, whoa, this guy must be like 5'10". The other day I was arguing online with somebody about politics, and they accused me of playing pathetic liberal games. And I thought to myself, pathetic liberal games, what is that? What would that be like? Would that be like Communopoly? Yes, We Candyland? Barack Paper Scissors? Biden's and Dragons? Trivial Pantsuit? Pac-Manafort? Pokemonica Lewinsky? Save Space Invaders? Sesame Street Fighter 2? Bad Hombre Hombre Hippos? Wait, Wait, Don't Deport Me? Or Cards Against Sean Hannity? All right, yeah, thank you. I'll end on that one. Thank you all very much. My name is James Johnson. Thank you all for coming out. I'd like to welcome to the stage now my friend Eden Solas. Keep it going for Eden.
Thanks, guys. Can I take this too? Yes. Can I go like this? Okay. Thanks, guys. I haven't done comedy for a long time, so I brought some props because everyone likes prop comedy, right? May I have a chair, please? Someone? Thank you, sir. All right. I got 15 minutes. I'm the headliner today. Sorry, Sarah. I came late, too. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. All right. You guys set up. Hold on. Sarah, how much time do I have left? I got 14 minutes. Okay. My timer here. Thanks, Sarah. And then my thing. All right, guys. All right, everyone. Time for jokes. Okay. All right, everyone. Hi, I'm Eden. Nice to see everybody here. Okay, so I'm the headliner, and I got 13 minutes. And yeah, I just wanted to say, thanks for coming. This comedy show, the donated proceeds is going to go to stop our Forward Montana. It really is actually. And I was able to choose our nonprofit. I chose that one because I'm the headliner. And I chose that one because they are doing a lot to stop Asian hate, which is awesome, especially in Montana. So Forward Montana is going to be flashing on your guys' Facebook for you guys at home. But yeah, as an Asian woman, everything that's been going on has been really upsetting. It's been really hard. So it's what I went to art school actually, and even though this is a time I'm up here to tell some jokes and stuff, I also thought since we are at the ZACC, one of the best art exhibition spaces in Missoula and in Montana and in the universe, that I wanted to share some art with you guys. And actually, I wanted to see if I could try to raise more money for Forward Montana by selling some art today. So that's what I'm gonna do today, right now. So thank you. So the first item I have for bidding purposes. So I created this, and it's just, I mean, I just put it in a Michael's bag. It's not from Michael's. This is a unpainted bird house. And this represents capitalism. The tag is still here that I also made. And, you know, I'm very much into practical art and practical art pieces. So even though this should go on a pedestal or behind bulletproof glass, I am fine with auctioning it off to people who want to use it in their homes for real birds. You could fit one whole bird in here, or 10 non-whole birds ground up could fit in here pretty good. If you remove the bones, a small dog probably also. So this is my first sculpture piece that I'll be auctioning off to you all. And for you at home on Facebook, I can hear, I have a earpiece where I can also hear your bids. It's technology. So I'll start the bid off. We'll start small at just $10. So here we go. $10. Here, better, swing, better, swing, better, $20, swing, better, hey, better, hey, better, all right, to that gentleman right there for $3 million. Thank you, sir. You can pick up your birdhouse after the show, or I'll leave it here for you. But please write the check for $3 million to Forward Montana. All right, guys, thank you so much for your generosity, sir. All right. I have another piece. I have 8 minutes. Here we go. All right, here we go. All right. Can you all see this piece? Clearly, I know what you all are thinking. And it breaks my heart too. It's we'll start the bidding at $10. All right, ready? Here we go. $10, $10. Did I hear more than $10? $20 over there to the gentleman with no pants on. Thank you, sir. Who else is going to bid for this? $20. Do I hear more than that? $25 to the gentleman without any hands. Thank you, sir. $30 over there to the beautiful woman outside without any, also no hands, because I can't think of anything else. You're beautiful. I'm just going to give it to you, ma'am. There you go, for $6 billion. Thank you. All right. Please write that check also to Forward Montana. So here you go. Thank you so much. Yeah. So here's our next piece. I have. Okay. This is a one-of-a-kind piece that I know what you guys are thinking about this piece. It's offensive, I know. The other piece was moving. This one is a little bit racist, a little bit harsh. But you know, it's art. So, do we have any bids for this guy right here? Right there. All right. Oh, sorry. $200 billion. Sold! Thank you, ma'am. That's Forward Montana. All right. So I have 5 minutes left. I need a volunteer. A volunteer from the audience, please. Okay, come on up. Thank you. Come on up. Yes, it's a period piece. Yes. Very, yes. Thank you. Yes. Oh, yeah. Have a seat, please. No, I want you to stay. Thank you, thank you. So we're gonna go ahead and do some live art. Okay, so go ahead and just lay there, or sit there, sorry, or lay. So you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and do some live art to make this exciting. So what is your name again? Maggie? Maggie? Megsy. There you go. This is the beautiful Megsy, awesome comedian. She's gonna be an art piece today. I'll put my mask on. So, all right. Well, maybe I'll take it off. All right, Megsy, so I'm gonna go ahead and do some face painting no, you can leave your glasses on, so, okay, here we go. So I'm an artist, I'm Asian, and I'm doing this for a good cause, so don't. You're wearing a penis on there? Yes. So wearing vagina, that's weird. No, not. Oh my God, you're kidding. Oh, yes.
That's the only way to cheer the audience up. You have to play.
So Megsy, you're a piece of beautiful art piece right now. And so we're gonna go ahead and start the bidding at $10. Do I hear $10 for Megsy's face painting? $10, $10, $10, $10 over there, $20, $20, $20, $20, $20 over there, $20, $50 over there. Sold for $900 to Forward Montana. Hold on, let me see. Wait, so sir, hold on 1 second. Here it is. So I think we have enough time to take the painting off for you. What time? Hold on. You just got Botox? All right. That was my timer. Sorry, guys. I don't think I have enough time to get your painting, sir. But after this, Megzy and I will meet you, and I will get you your art piece, okay? All right. Thank you, Megzy. Can I have a hand for Megzy, please? Thank you, Megzy. Thank you. Sorry, guys. I'm not that fast at cutting, so I gotta make time. Okay, so the last piece I have for auction today, let's see here. So I don't know if you all know about sketches and things like that, but I have a sketch of the last painting that we had for sale. And it's hard to say what I was thinking at the time, but I have some of those sketches available. So as you could tell, those pieces, I was really going into some zeitgeist, but I really can't tell you what I was really thinking when I made those pieces. But here's one of my sketches that you guys can also bid on. So here's this one. So, my time's up. But as you can tell, I don't really know what I was thinking about when I was making my last piece. I'm not really sure. I mean, you got the red and the placement in the middle, but I'm not really sure what exactly was going on in my mind. God only knows, am I right? So, last one, I know I'm out of time, but here's my last piece that I want to bid on for you guys. Sorry, I just need 2 more minutes. Is that cool? I'm sorry, you guys. So, this piece, I think it just speaks for itself. Okay. I mean, it's violent. It's very, very violent. And, I'm really sorry about that. I mean, I think maybe I shouldn't, I don't know. It's hard to part with, but maybe if I just show you guys, we can also so I'll do the bidding with the sketch of what I was probably thinking. Although, again, I'm an artist. I go with my mood and my feeling. So I don't really know what I was thinking about this one. So let's see. Here's my, so my sketch that I did for the journaling of it. I'm trying to figure out, I can't really explain it, again, the zeitgeist just overcame me. So, yeah, guys, if you want to purchase the end of this stuff, this sketch and this painting, the last sketches with this sketchbook drawing, let me know. Yeah, you know what, let's just go ahead and bid. So can I hear $10 for this one, plus the other one? $10 over there. You know what? $10. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.
Thank you so much, Eden. I'm always like, should I have Eden headline? I'm like, I don't know, it's kind of a risk. And then I'm like, I'm just going to do it. And then it ends up really great. Are you going to take your shit with you? I guess it was all bid on. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Please know that Eden and all the rest of the comedians performed for free tonight because they wanted all the proceeds to go to Forward Montana. So if you haven't donated a few bucks tonight, please do it. If you're in the audience, you can go home and kick them a few bucks. Thank you so much to the ZACC, who has been totally amazing throughout the pandemic, and they're going to continue to be totally amazing in the future. Thanks to our audience. Thanks to everybody watching. And we're going to take a little bit of a break, and then we'll be back in June, I believe. So look for those announcements. Thanks, everybody. See you later.